12 of its most fascinating creatures, one by one, from the warm, sunlit surface all the way down. We have better maps of the surface of Mars than of our own ocean floor. More than 80% of it has never been seen by human eyes, and what little we have seen is enough to keep marine biologists awake at night. Below the waves, live creatures so strange they seem invented, yet every single one of them is real. Today we're descending through the ocean layer by layer, breaking down to the crushing black of the deep. And I promise you, the deeper we go, the stranger they get. So, take a breath, we're going down. We begin near the surface, in the warm, sunlit water that still feels familiar. The bottlenose dolphin is one of the only animals on Earth besides humans that can recognize itself in a mirror. It hunts in coordinated pods, using a language of clicks and whistles, so sophisticated that each dolphin invents its own signature whistle, effectively a name it answers to for the rest of its life. It can map the world in sound, firing clicks that bounce back to reveal a fish hiding under the sand. But here's the part that unsettles people. The dolphin never truly sleeps. It shuts down one half of its brain at a time, keeping the other half awake to keep breathing and watching. And for all their charm, dolphins have been filmed killing harbor porpoises they never even eat. The ocean's most beloved animal is also one of its few known to kill for no reason at all. Drifting through the same sunlit water is a living fossil. The green sea turtle has barely changed in over 100 million years. It watched the dinosaurs disappear and simply kept swimming. It can cross an entire ocean using nothing but the Earth's magnetic field as a compass. And when it's time to lay her eggs, a female returns to the exact beach where she herself was born, decades earlier. But the ocean is rarely gentle. Of every 1,000 hatchlings that scramble across the sand and reach the water, only about one will survive to adulthood. And there's a quieter horror unfolding right now. The temperature of the sand decides whether an egg becomes male or female. And as the world warms, some beaches are now producing almost nothing but females. An entire species slowly tilting toward one sex, grain of sand by grain of sand. Patrolling the reef below them is a predator that has been perfecting itself for over 400 million years, older than the first. Trees that ever grew on land, the reef shark almost never stops moving because many sharks have to swim constantly just to push water over their gills. Stop, and they suffocate. They can never truly rest. Hidden in the skin around its snout are hundreds of tiny jelly-filled pores that detect the faint electrical pulse of a heartbeat, which means a shark can sense a fish hiding motionless under the sand in complete darkness by the beat of its heart alone. They cruise the reefs, picking off the weak and the dying. But sunlight only reaches about 200 meters down. Below that line, the warmth vanishes, the color drains away, and the rules of life change completely. 200 meters down, we enter the twilight zone, where the last blue light fades to almost nothing. Here hunts the swordfish, built like a living torpedo and tipped with a bladed bill that can grow nearly 2 meters long. It has a strange superpower. It can heat its own eyes and brain far above the freezing water around it, sharpening its vision in the gloom so it can track prey that other hunters would lose in the dark. And that sword is no decoration. Swordfish strike with such force that they have been found impaled in the hulls of wooden boats, in the bodies of other fish, and even on rare. Nothing about this animal is built for surrender. All around it, in numbers almost too large to, and almost unbelievable occasions, driven straight into the structure of deep-sea submersibles. Imagine drifts the most successful vertebrate on the entire planet. The lanternfish. There may be more individual lanternfish in the ocean than every other kind of fish combined, possibly more than a quadrillion of them. Their bodies are dotted with tiny organs that produce a soft, living light, which they use to erase their own shadow and vanish from the predators hunting them from below. Every single night, they rise hundreds of meters toward the surface to feed, then sink back into the dark by dawn, the largest migration of animals anywhere on Earth, happening every 24 hours. They are so dense that during the Second World War, sonar operators kept detecting a false ocean floor that rose and fell with the sun. It wasn't the seabed. It was a living ceiling made of billions of glowing fish. And then there is something that looks like it swam straight out of a nightmare, the vampire squid. Despite the name, it is neither a squid nor an octopus. It is the lone survivor of an ancient order of animals all its own, almost unchanged for hundreds of millions of years. When it feels threatened, it does something no other creature does. It turns itself inside out, pulling its spined, web-covered arms up over its body like a black cloak bristling with teeth. It lives in a layer of the ocean so starved of oxygen that almost nothing else can survive there at all. But despite the menacing name and the deep red eyes, it is no killer. It drinks no blood. It survives by drifting gently through the dark, catching the falling flecks of dead things sinking of blue light and simply disappear. We are now leaving the very last of the sunlight behind. Below 1,000 meters, we cross into the midnight zone where sunlight has never once reached, and from the world above. And when it is truly frightened instead of ink, it sprays out a glowing cloud. Darkness is total and absolute. Waiting in that darkness is the living nightmare of the deep, the anglerfish. From the top of its head hangs a thin stalk tipped with a glowing lure, and that light isn't its own. It's produced by billions of bacteria living inside the lure in a bargain struck millions of years ago. Any creature foolish enough to swim toward the only light in a lightless world is drawn straight into a mouth crowded with long, transparent glass-like teeth. But the darkest fact of all is about the male. He is tiny, a fraction of the female's size, and when he finally finds her in the endless black, he bites onto her body and never lets go. His skin fuses with hers. His organs dissolve. His eyes disappear until he is nothing but a lump of living tissue, feeding her his genes for the rest of her life. Sharing this blackness is a fish armed for a world of pure scarcity, the viperfish. Its fangs are so absurdly long that they don't even fit inside its mouth. They curve back almost to its eyes like a cage of needles. It dangles a glowing spine over its own head as a lure, then strikes with one of the fastest, most violent bites in the entire deep sea. But down here, food is desperately rare. A viperfish might go a week, 2 weeks, sometimes longer, without finding a single meal. So it has evolved to gamble everything on the rare moment that prey wanders close, a stomach that stretches, a body that can endure starvation, and teeth designed to make absolutely certain that when it finally strikes, nothing escapes. And drifting nearby is a creature that looks like a mistake, as if something went wrong in the design. The gulper. Eel is almost nothing but mouth. Its jaw is enormous, loosely hinged, and able to balloon wide open to swallow prey far larger than the eel itself, the way a snake unhinges to eat something bigger than its own head. The rest of its body trails off into a thin whip-like tail that ends in a single, faint, glowing tip, a tiny light it may use to draw curious prey toward that waiting mouth. For years, it was known almost entirely from dead, mangled specimens dragged up in nets. Then, in 2018, a deep-sea camera finally caught one alive, inflating its head into a grotesque balloon, and then deflating again, one of the strangest things ever filmed in the open ocean. Now we leave even the midnight zone behind and sink into the abyss more than 4,000 meters down, where the Elisao pressure could crush a submarine like a soda can, and the cold sits just above freezing. And somehow, gently flapping through it all, is the Dumbo octopus. It's named for the two soft fins on its head that look like an elephant's ears, which it beats slowly to hover and glide through the black. Unlike its shallow water cousins, it has no ink, because in a place this dark, with so few predators, there is simply nothing to hide from. It swallows its prey whole, and the female carries a quiet, eerie superpower. She can store a mate's sperm inside her for years, holding off on laying her eggs, waiting until the brutal conditions around her finally turn survivable. Beside it lurks a creature whose face belongs in a horror film, the fangtooth. For its body size, it has the largest teeth of any fish in the entire ocean. They are so enormous that the fish physically cannot close its mouth around them. So evolution carved a pair of sockets on either side of its own brain, just useless, so it doesn't really hunt by sight at all. It bumbles through the dark, bumping into so the bottom fangs have somewhere to slide when the jaws finally shut. Down here, eyes are nearly anything that moves and clamps down on whatever it touches. It has been drifting through this crushing blackness, almost completely unchanged for tens of millions of years, a face from a world that has never once seen the sun. And finally, at the very bottom, in water that has never known a single ray of light in the entire history of the planet, something enormous moves. The colossal squid. It is the largest invertebrate on Earth, heavier even than the giant squid, with a body built for the freezing dark around Antarctica. Its eyes are the size of dinner plates, the largest eyes of any animal that has ever lived, evolved to catch the faintest ghost of light in a world that has almost none. Its arms are lined not just with suckers, but with rotating, swiveling hooks. For more than a century, we knew it almost entirely from the beaks found inside the stomachs of sperm whales, and from the ring-shaped scars those battles left across the whale's skin. We had never once seen a healthy adult alive. And then, in 2025, a deep-sea camera finally filmed a living colossal squid for the very first time, and it was just a baby drifting alone in the dark, glassy and small and impossibly far from the surface. This is the edge of everything we know, and everything below it is still a complete mystery. 12 creatures, and the strangest thing of all is that we never even left the parts of the ocean we have already explored. More than 80% of it remains further down than ever before, completely uncharted, unmapped, unseen. Somewhere down there, in water, no light, and no human has. In the dark to be found, the ocean has been keeping its secrets for 4 billion years, and we have ever reached. There are almost certainly creatures stranger than anything we have just met, waiting, only just begun to look. If you want to keep going deeper, subscribe to Wild Ocean. Next time we go